This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
It's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show, broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Here's Jason Walker.
Yo, what up? Happy Friday. It is the Jason Walker Show. We did make it to the end of the week. I'm not sure how we did it, but we are presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana law says it is your vehicle, it is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave, I am Dr. President Governor-elect Jason Walker. Did you like that? We got a huge show today. So, we were set to have Alex Panovich, the actor from Van Helsing, join us, but something came up this morning, so he had to reschedule to next week. But we will talk to Frontier Conference Commissioner Kent Paulson, in addition, Governor Greg Gianforte. And then the news came out today, this morning, that Hammer and Hank Aaron passed away. The, to me, true home run king, because he didn't cheat. Barry Bonds cheated. But Hank Aaron passed away today at the age of 86. He got the COVID vaccine a couple of weeks ago and passed away today. Not saying there's a connection or not, but just giving you the facts. And I thought, there's one guy that I've talked a lot over the years with, the last 7 years, about with Hank Aaron, and that is former Carroll coach, NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest. And I reached out to him today because Coach Van Diest and I talked a lot about baseball over the years, both on and off the air. We talked a lot about his love for the Milwaukee Braves and Hank Aaron. So I reached out to Mike Van Diest today and got his thoughts on the passing of Hank Aaron at the age of 86. Here's Coach Mike Van Diest on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. It's definitely sad news, and like I said, you and I talked a lot over the years about your love for Milwaukee Braves, and that included Hank Aaron, and to me, he's still the true home run king, but tell me some of your favorite memories of watching him play.
Well, I just remember watching when I was a young guy and, didn't watch much of TV when I was 4, 5, 6 years old, but my dad bought me a Milwaukee Braves hat the year they won the World Series in '57. I got a hat that spring. My buddy across the street, Guy Dorner, he wanted a White Sox hat. And my dad bought me a Milwaukee Braves hat. And, because that was when they won the series and they had Warren Spahn and Hank Aaron and E. Matthews and the boys. And it was just start following them. It was just great, not having pro sports out here, but my dad being my baseball coach and loving baseball like I did, it just became natural to watch him. He was just, there was that great era where there was Willie Mays and Hank Aaron and Roberto Clemente and Willie McCovey, and it seemed like Mays and Aaron were the two top guys and the two top billings in those days, along with Mickey Mantle. So baseball was rampant in our house, and I remember always trying to buy baseball cards, and I could never get a Hank Aaron card. I got a couple really old Mickey Mantle cards, and I had Eddie Matthews and all these other guys. I could never get a Hank Aaron card.
Oh, geez.
And as I got older, I couldn't afford it. So, but then when, certainly when Ted Turner took over, TBS, and you could watch the Braves in those days when Aaron was still playing younger, and maybe it was after him, I don't remember. I just remember following him when he first went to Atlanta. And, April 8th, in '74, I was down in Wyoming in school, and everybody was glued to their TVs. The night he hit that home run off Al Downing, and it was pretty cool. Tom House was one of the pitching coaches. He was out in the bullpen and caught the ball, and it just was one of those magical moments, you know. There's certain things you remember in sports, that and the Olympics, you know, gold medal in 1980. There's just certain things that resonate with people, no matter who they cheer for, where they're at in the sports spectrum.
He was, you know, and you mentioned in that 1974 home run chase when he broke the Babe's record with 715 on that April 8th, but the amount of just crap that he had to deal with was unbelievable, and he did it. He handled it so classy, and you know it just killed him inside.
Well, he's just such a classy guy. You know, he had the great. What I always loved about him as a baseball player, as a batter, was his quick wrist. He was only about 180, 185 pounds. You know, he wasn't juiced up, or he wasn't one of those guys that 210 pounds jacking the ball. Man, he just would get it, and there were shots off of his bat, and you know, the number of home runs, but the RBIs that he hit, number of hits and things like that. And it just is like, this guy is a complete ball player. You know, he was stealing bases, you know, at a young age, and you know, still doing things on the base pass rather than just hitting 3-run homers. He had played great in the right field, and just all the things he did, and wearing number 44, that was just always so cool. And I don't know, he just, as good as he was, I still think some people appreciated how much he really did and how good he was.
I read something today, Coach, about that. John Heyman put it up on Twitter. He said that as good as his numbers are, he's still one of the most underrated players of all time, and that's amazing when you consider, like you said, all the RBIs and all the, you know, the hits and the home runs and everything.
Yeah, and the runs scored. I think, and you might have to want to look this up, I think one of the biggest injustices is he wasn't a unanimous choice for the Hall of Fame. Some idiot didn't vote him into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, that's race, and that's just being an idiot and being a racist.
Yeah.
You know, he was just at a time in the 60s, late 50s and 60s, that he just brought the sport, I think, alive. And again, with Mays and Mantle and McCovey and those guys just really were the face of baseball. And now you have the Mike Trouts and Freddie Freeman and, you know, some of those guys that just set the world with Tatis. And, you know, it's a new generation coming up, which is great to see. But he was the face of Braves baseball, whether it was Milwaukee or Atlanta, even beyond it. And he just was always a class act whenever he was interviewed, but he was never out there on a platform. You know, he and those guys in that generation, they never did things to embarrass themselves. He was just such a great human being.
Off the diamond, what did you take away from his life lessons?
Well, my son's bought me a great book, and I'm just heading downstairs. I got to see what the name of it was for Father's Day one year. I think it was just called Aaron. I had a couple books. Hammering was one of them, but the other book they bought me was just a book about Hank Aaron, and it meant a lot to me because my boys know how much I love Hank Aaron. They, you know, never got a chance to watch him on TV play, obviously, at their age and everything. But one of the things that was pretty cool is they bought me a book that was just awesome. And it was a great book. It's called, I got it right here. It's called Henry Aaron. It's a simple book. It's a huge book. It's the last hero of a life of Henry Aaron. And they just said, Dad, thank you for always being the one who believes in us and pushes us to be the best versions of ourselves. We couldn't ask for a better model, what it means to be a strong man, a faith, family, following your heart. Thank you for all you do for us. And then they gave me that book.
Wow.
And it was just like, they knew, you know, how much that meant and what a great book that was. And I've read it, and I'm going to go back and read it again because there's an interesting side note that I'll let you in on. And I feel bad I never wrote it. Hank Aaron's birthday is February 5th, which is the same day as Clay's.
Oh, man.
His dad, Herbert Aaron, his birthday is October 24th, which is my birthday. And it's just like, it's one of those things that's just going, wow, you know, and I always feel bad. I never dropped him a note. I mean, he gets thousands and thousands of notes, I'm sure. But I wish I could have shared that with him. Yeah, here's a father-son that has the same birthday as your father and son, you know, that pity. And just kind of cool semblance. And there's some other things in that book, too, that we can relate to as a family in terms of the upbringing of our boys and, you know, him playing in minor league ball, Clay moving to Canada, Shane's love for baseball at an early age. It just seemed like he was a great role model for my boys because of how humble he was. And again, he wasn't in the limelight very much, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever he was, or whenever he was talked about, I think the reverence about him, I don't think anybody could ever say anything bad about the guy.
Nope, I completely agree.
You know?
Reminds me a lot of the Van Diest family.
Well, I don't think we're quite that way, but
I will say
it was just fun. It was fun. In the 50s and 60s, baseball was so big in East Town. You know, we had Charlie Pride out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, playing baseball. And then here's Hank Aaron. We lived for baseball. You know, my friends, we sneak up over the fence at Smelter Park and go in there and play home run derby or work up, 500, things like that.
Yeah.
And my dad was a baseball coach for the Red Sox in East Town, the VFW, and Pony League. And it seems like we were playing baseball almost every day in the summertime. And we'd jump in the back of my dad's truck, and he'd all his kids up to the baseball fields of Helena, and we'd play up there. And it just was a way of life. Baseball was the American sport, and because you could do it. You could go out there and play catch with your dad. You could play, my boys, I think sometimes I kind of wrote them hard about playing catch and, making sure they were good at it. But they were good baseball players. Shane was a good player. And Clay was an outstanding catcher in Little League growing up here in Helena. And even played baseball up in Canada when he went up there to make his hockey mark. But they both appreciated the love of baseball. And I remember going and seeing Heidi, during the football season when Shane was born. And, November 2nd, we had an away game. I was at the University of Massachusetts. We were playing Holy Cross. When I got back that night after the game, she gave birth the next morning. And when I went home, got some rest, came back, I brought a baseball glove to the hospital for her, for Shane. That's just what baseball meant to me and my dad. And I just wanted to pass that down to my boys. And, a couple of years ago when Shane was in St. Louis, he was coaching football at Duchesne High School in St. Charles, Missouri. But he also coached JV baseball for 2 years. And I think he really loved it. And it was something that kind of just brought back good memories for him.
That's awesome. And baseball has that ability, especially if you were brought up in it and brought it up the right way to enjoy and love the game.
Right. Oh, yeah. I remember, all the baseball guys in East Town and Helena. My dad was a coach. Buzz Dolan was a coach, and Jim Pedic, and, Jack Dietrich, and Larson, and Hedge, and Hurley, and those guys up in, Johnson up in Helena. Those guys, they were coaches. Bud Sauter and Ernie Johnson and Bill Head Sr. and Don Larson and Joe Hurley. I loved those guys. They were coaching on the other team, but I always watched them and I liked them because my dad was a coach.
Yep.
So that's who I, would watch on game days and have fun with. And they were the guys that set the stage in Helena, I think, for us young kids to look up to, even though they were just little league coaches. They were our dads out there coaching us.
Well, I appreciate the stories, Coach. It's always fun to catch up with you, and in general, just to talk.
How's your family doing?
Doing well. The wife and I both got over the COVID around Thanksgiving, and Bob was home for Christmas, so that was fun. And he's doing well.
Where's he at?
He's still at Fort Riley. He's supposed to ship out in March overseas.
Okay.
But he's a crew chief. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tell Bob, congratulations. That's so cool.
It is. I'm super happy for him and proud of him. And my oldest she's down in Auburn going to grad school down there for the next couple of years. So.
Oh, what a great school. I have a friend that says he played football with me at Wyoming. He was equipment manager for the University of Illinois. He said, if I ever wanted to retire to a college town, it'd be Auburn, Alabama.
Really?
He just said it was just a cool atmosphere. It wasn't a big college town like, Michigan or Ohio State or even Alabama. He just says Auburn was just kind of, it kind of had that country feel to it.
Mm.
And he just loved it when he went down there to a game.
Well, I'm hoping to go to a game next fall down there.
Yeah. Well, I think it will open up. I don't think this spring is a good idea for everybody. I think the Cats and Grizz are doing it right. But, we'll see how it goes in the next couple of months.
Yep. Well, enjoy the lake, Coach. Enjoy the ice skating.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Say hi to the family, please. I miss them.
Yeah.
And
Give them a hug, and hopefully we'll run into you sometime this spring when things open up, Jace.
definitely, Coach. Look forward to seeing you.
All right. Thanks, bud.
See ya.
Bye.
That is NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest. What a great guy. And I love his stories in general, but I thought he'd be a good one to hear about the passing of Hank Aaron. And, man, he delivered. Yes, he always does. Miss that family. Van Diest, hello. Speaking of Hank Aaron, so I sent this to Coach Van Diest. Remember, he was talking about wanting to get a card, and is it not going to load? Oh, come on. No way. I had a card. I still have the card, actually. It's right here. It's not going to be the greatest. I thought it was going to load, but it's not, apparently. Anyway, here's the card. It's kind of glary, but so that is Babe Ruth, and then you got Hank Aaron and Willie Mays. And this was from 1973, and it was before, obviously, the home run record was broke. Hank Aaron at the time had 673 home runs, and he autographed the card. He was visiting Ted Turner's land property and Ted near Gallatin Gateway. This was years ago, and my dad owned the Gateway Market, and everybody would come in. I mean, Boutros Ghali, President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalynn, celebrities and everybody would come in to buy their fishing tickets from my dad at his gas station because it was right across the river from Ted Turner's. And we got word that Hank was coming to town, so I was lucky enough to get a couple of baseballs and that card signed by Hank Aaron. So sent it to Coach Van Diest, and he's like, man, I'm so jealous. But yeah, that was awesome. Talking to Coach Van Diest about Hank Aaron, who's, like I said, he is the original, he's still the home run king, not the original, but he is to me the home run king. He, and then Babe Ruth. Barry Bonds cheated, so let's not forget that Barry Bonds was a cheater. So he can't be considered, to me, the home run king. But anyway, appreciate Coach Van Diest joining us. All right, quick break. We're going to come back. And when we do, we are going to check in with the Frontier Conference Commissioner, Kent Paulson, get his thoughts on the updated football schedule that came out yesterday, and much more. That is next. Jason Walker Show. Coming right back with Kent Paulson. We're presented by Capital Collision Center.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918. Or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of MCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. Segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. Working on getting a hold of Commissioner Kent Paulson. He is on the other line, so he'll call us when he is ready. Governor Greg Gianforte will join us coming up as well. Talk about his first couple of weeks in office and ask him about the governor's mansion. And the Keystone Pipeline, which is a big deal. Lots of jobs lost on Wednesday, thanks to an executive order. And that affects Montana tremendously, as does a lot of issues around the country right now. And so we'll talk to Governor Gianforte coming up. And I still don't know why I can't get my card that I downloaded today of Hank Aaron to show up. So, because I have a card signed by Hank Aaron, and I wanted to show everybody because it's cool. Let's see if I can do it this way. Also on this day in history and much, much more coming up. Crosstown boys last night, the Capital boys steamrolled Helena High, and it was not real close. I think it was 57-36. Braden Cook had 19, I think. Helena boys have some issues over there, and we heard Brandon Day talk about it earlier in the week, that he's not happy with how they're playing and making some young mistakes for an upper-class team. So we'll talk to Guy Almquist on Monday, the Capital coach. And Alex Panovich rescheduled from today to next Friday. The actor Van Helsing and a whole lot of other shows. Do I tell you now who's coming up on Monday besides Guy Almquist? I don't know. It's so cool. Think over the top. Think Rocky. Think, let's see here. What else can I give you a hint? Rambo. Think of that. Let's see here. Howard Stern, Geraldo Rivera, Saturday Night Fever and Staying Alive. 75 films and TV shows. Tombstone, the movie. Let's see. Have you figured it out yet? I'll give you some time on those clues to figure out who's coming up on Monday. It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be super fun. And cannot wait. Going to be a good time on Monday. So, still working on Commissioner Kent Paulson. And appreciate Mike Van Diest, like I said, joining us. All right, so I think I got it figured out. Here is my card that was signed by Hank Aaron. How about that? I bought that card for $5.25. Do you know? I don't even know how much it's worth now. I mean, it's got Hank Aaron's autograph, and it's before he broke Babe Ruth's record. But I should do some research into that. But that's the card. That is Hank Aaron's autograph right there over Babe Ruth's name. Pretty cool, huh? One of my most prized possessions, obviously, as you can imagine. So, let's see here. What else do we want to hit on while we wait for Commissioner Paulson? Northern Colorado opting out yesterday of the Big Sky season, joining Portland State, Sac State, the Cats, and the Grizz. the 5th Big Sky team. So now they're down to 8 still planning to play. I don't know how it's going to happen. I really don't. There's 97 teams still going to plan on playing football across FCS. Northern Colorado's the 30th that is decided not to. We'll see. Waiting, obviously, Ed McCaffrey, his first year, waiting to get coaching. But I just don't know how the Big Sky is going to have a season. And you heard Mike Van Diest say it not too long ago here on the show, just a few minutes ago. Oh, by the way, Braden Cook had 24 last night, not 19, 24 in the Capital win over Helena High. But anyway, you heard Mike Van Diest talk about he thinks Cats and Grizz are doing a smart thing not playing in the spring. Does that mean he agrees with that the Frontier shouldn't play too? That would be my take. I am hearing that the Frontier teams, because their new schedule came out, and College of Idaho and Northern are looking to play 5 games, season starting March 13th instead of February 27th. Everybody else in the conference looking to play 4 games. A, I don't think the Frontier is going to end up playing. But B, I'm hearing that the Cats and the Grizz want to play Frontier teams. Well, you're going to have to pay them. So where's the money come from? Because there's no fans. Are you doing pay-per-view, which is a joke, in my eyes, for spring football? How are you going to make this happen? It'll be interesting to keep an eye on. No doubt about that. I just don't think the Frontier is going to be able to play. When you look at Southern Oregon, Eastern Oregon, they're not even allowed to practice yet in any sports because of their governor, Kate Brown. They still can't play basketball in the middle of basketball season right now. So how are EOU and SOU going to get ready for a football season that starts in 3 weeks with practice when they're still not cleared? And then I hear from a school in Montana. Now there's 5 of the Frontier, so you can take your pick. I'm not going to call them out. But it's one for sure, and possibly more aren't going to play their seniors or their starters this spring. Why? Well, they don't want to risk injury. But what's that saying to your other kids? You don't mean as much as a starter, so if you want to play, you can play. But a 4-game schedule, is it worth it? If you're a Frontier player, is it worth it to play 4 games? When you can't wait 3 more months. You've already waited 7 months. Why can't we wait 3 more months to get practice started in July instead of ending in April or May? Let's just wait. And then you get a full, real season in the fall with fans in the stands, hopefully. That's our goal, right? We have to make money. But we'll see. I just don't think it's going to happen. And that's not being a pessimist. That's just being honest. All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll try to reach out to Frontier Conference Commissioner Kent Paulson when we come back. And also still Governor Greg Gianforte set to join us when we return. Jason Walker Show. Hang on.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage Team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. Great message on Facebook from Sherry. We'll talk to the governor, Greg Gianforte, coming up. That is a live look, Earth Cam, at the little wedding chapel in Las Vegas. I don't know why I pulled that one out. I just did, but there you go. Jason Walker Show, presented in part by Auto Concepts. By the way, it is time to start thinking about this. If you are looking, did you see that? Just something flew by? There's nobody here. Somebody else saw that, right? Huh. Anyway, Auto Concepts is now the time to start thinking about getting your remote starter, because it is going to start getting cold. And you're going to want to have your car a little warmed up, vehicle warmed up before you head outside. But make sure you stop by Auto Concepts. Also lift kits. And you can also think about this. Start getting this scheduled for when everything melts. Now, I know we don't have anything really on the ground yet. We got a little bit of snow. But you're going to want a good auto detail when spring comes. Get on the schedule now for auto detailing at Auto Concepts, the performance enhancement experts here in Helena. Still efforting Commissioner Kent Paulson. We'll see. Maybe you heard me, say that the Frontier shouldn't play. Who knows? There is basketball this weekend. Tech is at Carroll, I know. I think Northern's going to play finally with Rocky, so we'll see. There is Providence women are playing the Western women, but not the men. So, all right, let's just hop into the governor. How's that? If we don't get the commish, we'll get him next week. It's not a big deal. Had a chance to talk with Governor Greg Gianforte, ask him about bringing the National Guard home. Because if you haven't seen the last 24 hours, because mainstream media, of course you wouldn't have seen what the National Guard was put in to sleep in and rest in with one bathroom, a parking garage. Yeah, that's a true story. That happened. Former President Trump, who just left office Wednesday morning, offered up his Trump DC hotel for those National Guard members to go stay at for free, and police. How about that? But the mainstream media is not going to tell you that. They also won't tell you how damning and how harmful Wednesday's executive order shutting down the Keystone XL pipeline is. How many jobs are going to get lost? How many in Montana? Well, joining us now to talk about that is the governor of the state of Montana. He's been in office just about 3 weeks now. It's Greg Gianforte, and he joins us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Well, first off, appreciate you joining us on a Friday, and it's been busy since you got sworn in January the 4th. It's been pretty much nonstop for you, hasn't it?
Well, we rolled up our sleeves right away. We had a lot of hiring to do. I think the first priority is get the right people on the bus. We just finished filling all the agency heads, so we appointed this week FWP and DPHHS. Those are the last 2 out of 12. So, yeah, it's been good. We're making progress.
And some big stuff already, too. And it started with President Biden on Wednesday, but him shutting down the Keystone XL pipeline. And that's a big deal for the state of Montana. And you immediately went to work on that.
Well, I'll work with the president on things where we have shared priorities, but his decision on the Keystone XL pipeline has real negative consequences for Montana. His decision is going to eliminate thousands of jobs, good-paying jobs here, and over $100 million in annual taxes that would have paid for schools, infrastructure, law enforcement, teachers. The Keystone Pipeline, unfortunately, has become a partisan symbol, and at the expense of hardworking Montanans. And I urged President Biden to reconsider his misguided executive order.
And this was something that your predecessors, both Democrats and Steve Bullock and Brian Schweitzer, were for. So this is disappointing on a multitude of levels.
Yeah, it's a bipartisan issue. I mean, the pipeline is the most economical way to get oil and gas to market. It's also the most environmentally sensitive because this oil and gas is going to get to market one way or another. Would you rather have it in a safe pipeline that's buried below the surface, or would you put it on trucks that go across the road or on rail that are prone to accidents? So this is just a better, more economical way to do it. And by the way, it creates a lot of good-paying jobs and will fund our schools and infrastructure.
Have you heard from the president since your letter?
I have not.
Do you anticipate hearing from him?
Well, we're going to stay on this. This is not done. And we're going to use every tool we got in the box because I personally think that this is a violation of our rights here in Montana. This permit was issued. It's not even partisan politics because my predecessor here in this office supported the pipeline. Mm-hmm. The federal delegation supports it. It's a bipartisan issue. This is eco-terrorists shutting down this at the expense of hardworking Montanans.
Well, good luck following up on that because it does affect a lot of people, not just in the nation, but especially here in the state of Montana. Greg Gianforte, governor of Montana, joining us here, Jason Walker Show. A couple other big points that I wanted to chat with you about since we haven't talked for a few weeks, but your small business directive that came out, I guess, last week. And this is important with COVID and getting, I think it helps get the state back open in a responsible way. Take me through this.
Yeah. So COVID is the number one issue we face in the state, this pandemic. So we looked at this and there were a lot of conflicting and confusing directives that were in place. So we took a week to analyze all that. There was over 25 pages of rules and regs, again, conflicting and confusing. We got rid of all that, and we replaced it with a 3-page directive. And a couple of things that did. It got rid of the hours of operation restriction that were placed on our bars and restaurants because the truth is, Jason, the virus is no more infectious at 10:15 p.m. than it is at 9:45 p.m. Mm-hmm. But it does mean bars and restaurants should take reasonable precautions. We also got rid of the capacity limits because it's more important that based on the circumstances that an individual business owner has, they have to take steps to protect their workers and their customers. So we've outlined those in the directive. And if they do that, it's important that we provide protection from lawsuits. That's why I've asked the legislature to give me legislation that will protect small businesses, teachers, healthcare workers, nonprofits, and churches if they take reasonable precautions to protect their customers and their staff. And I hope to have that legislation on my desk next week. And that's a big criteria for me to get rid of this mask mandate, because nobody hates these masks more than I do. I choose to wear one to protect the people around me. I encourage others to do that if they can't socially separate. But I'm looking forward to the day when I can take my mask off one last time, throw it in the trash can, and go on with life safely.
I think we all are. Governor Greg Gianforte joining us. Part of COVID too is the vaccine rollout, and you are moving towards phase 1B. Explain to our listeners between differences of 1A to 1B now.
Okay, so the good news is this vaccine, the facts are it's effective and safe, and we're making progress. By the end of next week, over 90% of all the nursing homes and long-term care facilities will have had their first dose. At a minimum, some have had second doses. That's part of the 1A category. The other group that's in 1A is frontline healthcare workers, those that are actually day in and day out caring for COVID, people that are infected with COVID. They're also essentially completed. So that allowed us this past week on the 18th to move into the 1B category. Now, right after I got elected, we looked at this, and the guidance we had gotten from the CDC was very complicated and confusing. So we simplified it. We just said, hey, once we get frontline healthcare workers, nursing homes, long-term care facilities done, we ought to prioritize the most vulnerable. Let's get the vaccine to the folks who have the highest susceptibility to the virus. Let's get them vaccinated. So that is people 70 years of age and greater, or younger folks that have a serious underlying healthcare condition. So we're in that 1B category for most communities in the state, and we started vaccinating them last week. We get new shipments every week. We've got about 100,000 doses in the state right now. Most of those have already been put in people's arms. So the light at the end of the tunnel is getting brighter. I would caution folks, though, if you're over 70 or have an underlying healthcare condition, you are now eligible to get vaccinated. Work with your local public health official. The caution is we don't have enough vaccine for everybody, but we have more shipments coming in every week.
That was my follow-up question. Is I've seen stories this week, or I have seen stories this week that there's just not any vaccines on the federal level to ship out to states. Is that accurate or not?
We're getting about 13,000 new doses each week, in addition to the second doses. So that's making a dent. In the general population, not everybody is choosing to get vaccinated. Again, we've moved through the 1A category. That's essentially completed. We still have some second doses to give there. We're now fully in the 1B category in most communities. And you can contact the local public health officials here in Lewis and Clark County. They have daily updates on their Facebook page and website. You can check there. Again, not everybody's going to get vaccinated today.
Right.
But you can call when they become available. They'll explain on that website where you can get the vaccine, and then go ahead and get an appointment if you can get one. And there's more vaccine coming every week.
Governor of Montana, Greg Gianforte, joining us here. Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. I saw it this morning. You want the National Guard troops home, the 150 that you sent to Washington, D.C. Their job is done. You said bring them home, and I think that was a good call.
Well, I'm proud of the work they did. We had a smooth transfer of power in Washington last week, in large part because of the strong presence. The men and women of the Montana National Guard went there when I asked them to. And this morning I directed Adjutant General Ronick to bring them home. Their work is done, and I look forward to greeting them at the airport when they're here back in Montana early next week.
That would be fantastic, and they all did a great job. 25,000 plus National Guard all did a fantastic job out there in D.C. the last couple of weeks. Are you settling into the governor's mansion?
Well, mansion is a little generous. but we are settling in. We've been Susan and I are settled in. We've been having small groups of folks over every evening. I promised to make the governor's residence a house of hospitality, and that's been fun. The big news, though, Jason, is that I won the gun raffle from a candidate for PSC. I bought a couple tickets when I was up in Thompson Falls, and today I get to go over to Capital Sports here in Helena and pick up my new rifle.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited about that. It's a survival kit.
Ooh.
I believe it's a Colt 45, but it breaks down into a little package. There's like a machete-like knife in there, some parachute cord, a compass, and then this breakdown gun that fits in a little carrying case. You put it right under behind the seat in your truck or wherever, and you're always prepared.
It sounds like the original Rambo survivor knife a little bit.
Well, you know, you got to have one.
Absolutely. And now you get the gun with it. That's even better.
Yep.
So what's the biggest difference between the governor's residence and where you stayed out in D.C.?
Well, in D.C., we rented a little apartment. It was a tiny little place right on Capitol Hill. The governor's residence has a nice big room for entertaining, and we enjoy sharing that with the people of Montana.
I'm still waiting for my invite. Of course, you're invited at one of these times when things settle down a little bit for my ribs.
You are definitely going to come over. We're starting with the legislature. I have a little bit of cat herding to do with the legislature, so we're working with them first, and then I did promise we'll have you over.
I do have to ask: are you a baseball fan?
Mostly, I hunt and fish.
Right, but I asked because Hank Aaron passed away today.
Oh, what a legend!
Unbelievable. To me, he's the true home run king.
News.
Yeah, it just came out in the last hour, but tough news. And I didn't know if you were a baseball guy growing up or what. But
I played ball. I was a catcher. Johnny Bench was my hero back in the day.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it's been a tough year like that, but things are looking forward and we're progressing, and I'm looking forward to not only your first couple of weeks wrapping up and doing such a great job, but the next 4 years for sure. Governor Greg Gianforte joining us. Appreciate the time as always, and keep up the good work on the grindstone, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, there's still a few rocks in the pile, so we're working on it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Sounds good. Thanks, Governor.
Bye-bye.
Governor Greg Gianforte joining us. Jason Walker Show, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. And I love how he phrased it. Got some herding of the cats still to do when he's talking about the legislature in the state of Montana. That is awesome. Look, he's set out with a mission, and he's going at it 100%. Full bore, hardcore. And he's going to get some stuff done, which is cool. Appreciate him joining us. Commissioner Kent Paulson, talked to him. He will join us Tuesday now on the show. Had some things come up, and so he will join us Tuesday. All right, Monday coming up. Have you figured out the hints yet? I told you. Think of Rocky, Rambo, over the top, things like that. Just that's one of our guests on Monday. And those are the hints. Think of the last name Stallone. Okay? Also, Capital Boys coach Guy Almquist will be a guest on Monday. We'll talk about the win last night over Helena High. Look ahead to next week. They have Glacier and Flathead. Is it Glacier at home and Flathead on the road, or vice versa with the girls? So, or the boys. It's all screwy schedule now. It really is because of COVID and everything else. So, but we will talk to Commissioner Kent Paulson from the Frontier on Tuesday. Also Tuesday, we'll have an extended edition as we'll talk to Talon Hope, an up-and-coming country singer from Nashville. That'll be fun. And got an invitation to do some great interviews in February. And I'm looking forward to that. We're going to do that. I'll tell you more as we get closer. But we're going to have some awesome guests this 2021, both sports-wise and pop culture-wise. And it's going to be fun. And you can weigh in anytime. You can tweet us at JWalkerSports. You can email Jason at jasonwalkershow.com. You can Facebook us. You can call in, text. The phone number is right there on the website, 209-1267. Don't get a hold of me after the show, though, too. I did see that Megan Upham yesterday. So today, actually. We talked to Matt Upham yesterday. Remember, he resigned at Flathead yesterday as the head football coach. And his sister Megan, who won a state championship as an assistant soccer coach with Glacier in 2020, just a few months ago in the fall, beating Helena High. But she said, how did she phrase it? And I know what she meant, but I had to give her a hard time. So she said, let's see here. She shared the show from yesterday and said, a fantastic interview by one of my favorite role models. Starts at minute 15. Also got a sister shout out. Love you, coach. Now, I know she's talking about Matt, her brother, the entire time. But I didn't know that I was a role model of hers. Or was she talking about Matt, her brother? I'm guessing Matt. You never know. You never know. Love the Upham family. They're fantastic. All right, let's see what else we got. We talked about Northern Colorado. Some good basketball last night. There's some more this weekend. Ty Hughes had 21 for Bozeman. Last night they beat CMR by 21. 22 points for Jackson Berkeley. Junior Bergen had 21. Senior beat West. We talked about Braden Cook, 24. Capital over Helena High by 21. Skyview got 18 from Cameron Ketchum in a win at Belgrade by 19. There were some big points last night. Drew Wyman, 24. Great Falls led 21-2 and then beat Gallatin 87-45. 26 for Royce Robinson for Lewistown in a win. Let's see here. Let's go down to the girls' side. Damon Grovan had 57 yesterday. That's a boy, but holy cow. Drea Wacker had 30 in a double overtime loss. Millstone lost to Seiko. 57 for Damon Grovan. We'll have to get him on the air. Bryce Grebe had 27. Caden Thieberta Sims had 30. Emily Cooley of Big Timber, 26. Some good score. Charlotte Winston of Townsend put up 22 last night. So Damon Grovant scored 57 for Lodge Grass. Teammate Malachi Littleness put up 22. That's good. That's called teamwork. What was their score? Got to find the score now. Holy cow, that's awesome. A career high 57. A 105-63 victory over Joliet. All right. 11 off the state record of 68 by Brad Sehos, who we talked to last year from Harlem. Great stuff. There's some nomination. I think Damon Grovant might be your leader now for Auto Concepts Performance of the Week, which we'll do Monday. Man, that's awesome. All right, let's do On This Day in History. It is January the 22nd. It is National Blonde Brownie Day. Instead of using chocolate or cocoa, they use brown sugar. 1857, National Association of Baseball Players, founded in New York. 1973, George Foreman TKO'd Joe Frazier in 2 rounds to win the WBC and WBA heavyweight boxing titles in Kingston, Jamaica. Frazier was knocked down 3 times in both the first and second rounds. So 6 times over. So down goes Frazier 6 times. 2011, he went down for good. 1984, Annette Kennedy of SUNY sets the women's basketball record with 70 points. Also in 1984, on this date, Super Bowl 18 in Tampa, LA Raiders beat the Washington Redskins 38-9. Marcus Allen, the MVP. 1988, defending champ Mike Tyson knocks out title holder Larry Holmes in TKO in round 4 in Atlantic City. 1989, Super Bowl 23 at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. San Francisco beat Cincinnati 20-16. The comeback, of course. Jerry Rice, the MVP. In 2006 on this date, 15 years ago. Think about, where were you? I was in Grand Junction, Colorado, and went and saw a comedy act. Got home, turned on the TV, and saw that Kobe Bryant put up 81 in a victory over the Toronto Raptors, the second highest game total in NBA history behind only Wilt's 100-point game. Let's see. David Edward Hughes died on this date in 1900. He was an inventor. You know what he invented? The microphone. 1973, LBJ died. Lyndon Baines Johnson, the 36th president, died at the age of 64. 2008, Heath Ledger died, overdosed on drugs. 2012, Joe Paterno died at the age of 85. A couple of birthdays today. Bill Bixby, the Incredible Hulk, born on this date in 1934. Steve Perry was born on this date in 1949. Oh, Sherry, his big solo chart, of course, former lead singer for Journey. Linda Blair, born on this date in 1959, The Exorcist. Michael Hutchence, born on this date in 1960, lead singer of In Excess. He died of strangulation himself in 1997. Diane Lane was born on this date in 1965. Cherry Valance from The Outsiders. She's been in a bunch of movies, but that was her big one. I love her in that movie. So good. All right, let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Big shout out today to Mike Van Diest joining us, the NAI Hall of Famer, and sharing his thoughts on the passing of Hank Aaron, the home run king at the age of 86 today. And it was fun to talk to Coach. I hadn't talked to him in a while. But we've always shared great stories over the last 7 years about baseball and how much he loves the game of baseball. And I think he loves baseball more than he loves football, which football made him a Hall of Famer. But just reverence and love for that family, and great to talk with him. Also, thanks to Governor Greg Gianforte for joining us, talking about his first couple of weeks in office and requesting Joe Biden cancel his executive order basically on the canceling of the Keystone XL pipeline, which is going to cost a lot of jobs. Like, we're talking thousands of jobs for Americans and Montanans included. So it was fun to catch up with the governor, and it's going to be a great weekend. We also thank Matt Upham for joining us yesterday after he, quote-unquote, resigned from Flathead High football. He'll still continue to be a teacher. Carson DeRozier, Crosstown, coming up tomorrow. We talked to him yesterday, the Capital State champ from a couple of years ago. He also chatted this week. Jordan Hansen, thank you for joining us, the National Sports Media Association Montana Sports Writer of the Year. Katie Garson-Forbrick, Capital Girls coach. Had a great time talking to her, along with Helen High Boys coach Brandon Day. And Marlon Hargis from Exile. That was fun on Tuesday. If you missed that one, go back and listen to that one, too. That was a good time. Lindsay Cruz, Montana PRCA barrel racing champ. Talked to her on Monday. It seems like forever ago, but it was just a few days ago. But thanks to everybody for joining us. Make sure you go JasonWalkerShow.com if you want to re-listen to any of those interviews from this week or from our past weeks as well. And it's going to be a good time next week. Can't wait. We're going to talk to Katie Garson-Forbrick again. We'll talk to Alex Panovich, the actor who was scheduled today, rescheduled to next Friday. Commissioner Kent Paulson will join us from the Frontier Tuesday. Taylor Hope, 15-year-old country singer, will join us. We'll talk to Guy Almquist next week as well. It's going to be a great time. And have you figured out who we're talking about Monday? In addition to the great Guy Almquist, His last name is Stallone. I'm going to leave you with that for the weekend. We are going to be joined by an actor with the last name Stallone. Think Rocky, think Rambo, think Over the Top. And over 75 movies. Yep. Stallone joins us Monday on the Jason Walker Show. And this isn't some whacked out thing. This is real. Monday, Stallone, Jason Walker Show. And Almquist. Stallone and Almquist, Monday. Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center. We'll see it for JasonWalkerShow.com.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.